What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Halo Infinite flight update video for you guys. We have a better idea of what kind of content we can expect to see in the two Halo Infinite flights coming up. They also revealed a new game mode and went into further detail on the challenge and XP progression system. But talking about the progression system alone would have made this video way too long. So look out for a video I'll have out later today detailing the progression system in full. And there's so much more to go over in this video. So make sure you guys stay tuned while I break down this Inside Infinite update for September, and stay tuned to the channel because on Wednesday they're going to be offering even more details on the flight, and I will of course cover that in a separate video for you guys. Hit that like button if you guys enjoy Halo Infinite news content, and subscribe if you're as hyped as I am about Halo Infinite and you guys want to stay absolutely up to date on anything that happens with the game. Let's start with probably the biggest news of all, there being two separate flighting weekends for Halo Infinite. They're basically splitting up the arena in big teams, so if you guys want to play big team and we're excited about that, you're going to have to wait one more week. So the BTB flight will start next Thursday, September 30th. Meanwhile, the PvP arena flight starts this Thursday, September 23rd. That is when the flight will be active, but they are sticking to a schedule with these flights. So allow me to break down that content schedule for you guys. So like I said, on Thursday night, the build will become available, but it won't be matchmaking right off the bat. So training mode and weapon drills in the academy will be available to go on ahead and play around with until Friday rolls around at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time until 2 p.m. Pacific Time. That's when the matchmaking for Arena 4-on-4 will go live. Now after 2 p.m. matchmaking will become unavailable again until 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time until 9 p.m. Pacific Time. That's when matchmaking will come back online during those 4 hours. So a total of 8 hours a day basically is what we're looking at for PvP Arena. Now it's going to keep that schedule for the remainder of the flight, so Saturday and Sunday is going to be from 10 a.m. till 2 and 5 p.m. till 9, once again Pacific Time. And Monday will be when the flight access closes at 10 a.m. Pacific. Now when the flight is outside of those matchmaking windows, guys, you'll still be able to log in and do the training mode, weapon drills, and the battle pass just like you could do the day before the matchmaking goes live. And the customization menu will also be accessible throughout the entirety of the flight. Now Bot Arena will also be accessible when the matchmaking times are live because you can matchmake with teammates and then face bots, with objective modes now turned on, and that goes for the Arena PvP part of the flight as well. Objective modes will be included, and a new map will be playable on Sunday, September 26th, which could totally be Behemoth. We've seen that before in a lot of the previews in the multiplayer trailers, but we didn't get to play that in the previous flight. There is plenty of concept art in this article for Behemoth. I'm hoping it's a totally new map we haven't seen before, but I wouldn't get my hopes up for that. At least with Behemoth, there should be some vehicles to play around with, even though it's arena, so it'll be our legit first look at Halo Infinite vehicles and the vehicle destruction system. But as far as the big team playtest schedule, that is debuting on September 30th and lasting through October 3rd, with all matches being played on the one map that we've seen in the multiplayer trailers, Fragmentation, with 3 different modes being playable throughout the flight. Now later in the video, I will get into some of the specifics as far as some of the changes to Big Team Battle, as well as some interesting details about the new training mode that will be available from the start of the flight before matchmaking goes live that you guys will be able to test out, because that is new and was not in the previous flight. But some people may be asking why these specific times. I don't like that. I want to be able to play whenever, especially if you're not in the US. These times could definitely be affecting you and could be pretty frustrating. But we have to remember, this isn't for our enjoyment. This isn't the full release of the game. This isn't for the consumer. This is to help to make the final product a better product. And we got to look at it from the standpoint of trying to help 343 getting the data that they want. So the primary goal for the tech previews is to test our online services at a larger scale than ever before, which is definitely more possible when you're forcing people to get on at certain times to stress test those servers. Now, if you signed up for the Halo Insider program before September 13th, you should get an invite. Invites have already started rolling out, and they will be rolling out over the next couple of days. And even if you don't get an email with your invite, I already got mine, so look at those emails. But even if you don't get one, check your Waypoint profile on Thursday. When the flight gets activated, you may have a Waypoint message waiting there for you and your invite. Like I said, if you properly signed up by September 13th, they invited every single possible Halo Insider. And maybe you're asking, what the hell is a Halo Insider? I'm new here, I just want to try out Halo Infinite. How do I get in on some of this action? Well, good news. According to one of the community managers at 343 Sketch, he said that they will be extending access the second weekend beyond Halo Insiders. So people who don't get invited will still have options to try out the game, which is really exciting stuff. So for the big team battle weekend, you might still be able to get in even if you're not a Halo Insider. Make sure you spread the words to your friends who maybe are on the fence about Halo, not as hardcore of a fan as we are who are signed up for the Insider program. And if they end up liking the game, make sure you guys send them to one of the best Halo news channels on YouTube, Patman Gaming. Let's get to 5,000 subs before the launch of the game. Now, one of the secondary goals for the Flight 4343 is to receive feedback and find additional bugs around the content in the flights. So if you spot anything that feels like it's a bug, make sure you guys submit it on the Halo support site if you are a Halo Insider. And that is also staying open till a couple of days after the flight ends, which is nice. Instead of going down as soon as the flight ends, they're going to give us a couple days to go on ahead and submit tickets, because we're all going to be too busy trying to play the game instead of stopping to go on ahead and submit feedback, right? But if you just have like thoughts or impressions, you could always put that on Twitter, make YouTube videos about it like yours truly, or even go to Halo Waypoint and voice your concerns there. But anything on the technical side, like bugs and technical issues, those should definitely be reported to the Halo support site with proof. If you could somehow record or screenshot things that you guys find, that will in turn make it easier for the developers to pinpoint things and make the game a better game at launch. 343 went into detail on how they invested a lot of time into the item spawner system. So things like weapon racks, equipment pads, grenade pads, and vehicle pads will allow them to push new weapons, new equipment, grenades, or vehicles into the entire Halo Infinite experience without stuff being locked to certain maps, which is really cool. So say they bring a brand new weapon into the game, or even bring back a classic weapon like the pump shotgun, they could add it to any of the maps in the game without it being tied to certain new maps, which is cool. I guess they never really had to worry about that before, but they're already thinking about the future of the game. They also went into a deeper dive of their design philosophy, or the pillars that they set out when making a new and improved big team battle mode. So they wanted to make BTB an experience that feels classic and modern at the same time, much like a lot of Halo Infinite. And one of their biggest pillars was embracing the Spartan battle fantasy. They want players to really feel like they're within a Spartan unit, pushing through the battlefield and capturing objectives as a team. That's why they invested in things like the Pelican drop system for the new vehicle spawns, the commander mode voiceover, and of course the weapon pods falling from the sky to resupply the battlefield, along with a few more dynamic elements they haven't really revealed. They wanted both the players and the maps that we're playing on to feel like they are a part of an iconic battle within the Halo universe. Another one of their pillars was empowering player types to thrive. They said there are many different types of players in the Halo ecosystem. Some players are pilots, others are slayers or objective hunters, but they wanted all of them to work together in this BTB experience. And the last pillar that they focused on was unleashing the Halo Infinite sandbox, which there's no better place to do that than in BTB. They want to make sure all the toys are available in that BTB play space for maximum amounts of fun. One of the biggest differences between Arena and BTB is the amount of equipment charges that you receive per pickup. So when you pick up an equipment in BTB, you could have up to 5 uses depending on the specific piece of equipment. So something like the grapple shot in the first flight had 3 charges. In Arena, it might have something along the lines of 5 in BTB, which is very interesting. We'll have to see how each piece of equipment is affected, and we'll see if we get our hands on the repulsor for the first time in Halo Infinite, because that was not in the first flight. They also hinted at a brand new mode called Total Control. And this isn't Strongholds, so people thinking that it could be Strongholds because Halo 5 had a medal when you had all 3 captured Strongholds, it would say Total Control and give you that medal. Strongholds is already confirmed for Halo Infinite. This is a whole new mode, something maybe along the lines of Domination from Call of Duty or Control from Destiny? I don't know, could be something like that. We haven't had a mode that was basically a clone of that in Halo ever. Things like strongholds or territories or even Dominion were very similar, but not exactly the same. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. Maybe this is the return of Dominion. I thought that was a really good game mode that I would love to see return in the series. 343 also teased a new way that players can get a cache of power by interacting with the map in a whole new way with their personal AI. Wonder if this means some sort of dynamic maps. Whatever it could be, I'm really interested in seeing this, and I hope it's somehow in the flight. If not, we'll have to wait for launch, or if there's another flight with new maps, that could be a possibility. Now, like I talked about earlier, Pelicans will drop in new vehicles during the match. They will first start by dropping in your standard ground vehicles, but as the match goes on, they'll start dropping in more powerful vehicles, air vehicles, and eventually tanks. They wanted the more powerful vehicles in the sandbox to really feel special and create a moment in the game that can change the flow depending on what vehicle is brought in. So that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. Another small but cool thing is that wildlife is confirmed to be in Big Team Battle. The final thing I want to go over for this video is the Academy and some of the really cool new features coming with that. One of the things we didn't see in the first flight and we won't see probably till the launch of the game is the tutorial for the game. And this is a very unique and linear mission where players are introduced to Spartan Commander Lorette, a Grina that we've seen in several promotional material for the game, and we'll explore the grounds of the Avery J. Johnson Academy of Military Science. There, you'll complete a series of objectives to help acclimate players of all skill levels to the world of Halo Infinite. They want players to come away from the tutorial with a greater sense for what it means to be a Spartan in the Halo universe. The thing I'm really looking forward to, and something that will be in the Halo Infinite flight both this weekend and next, is the training mode. So this started as a 1v1 bot experience in the initial stages for players to warm up with more items from the Halo sandbox on the maps. It grew from there to provide a larger literal sandbox where players can experiment with their loadouts and a variety of bot or player options. If you want to practice your sniper shots on Behemoth with unlimited ammo, zero risk of dying, and then swap to the shock rifle and add bot teammates without reloading the map, playing in matchmaking, or delving into custom games, you could do that in training mode, which I find very interesting that you don't have to end the game to change all those options. That is awesome. But 343 also touched on some of the things that they would love to do post-launch, like adding vehicle drills to the Academy to help support the entire Halo sandbox. They're also excited to find new ways they can leverage their multiplayer bots to create more arcade-like gameplay experiences to help reinforce core gameplay loops and map knowledge. They also want to give players more control over the difficulty of the bots they fight against in training mode than they're currently offering for launch. They'd love for players to be able to toggle off certain behaviors, such as grenade throwing, that they didn't necessarily want to deal with, or to combine the aspects of different difficulty levels to create a bot experience that is more tailored to each player's needs. And I think that is really cool. Another idea that was thrown around is scrimmages, where they can really expand the fun or replayability of the Academy and leverage the systems or the sandbox that they have to help create whole new gameplay experiences for players to get lost in while having fun playing and experimenting within the game. They did mention that the player versus bots playlist is more so their first Academy co-op experience, but there's lots of ways to continue to create more shared experiences within the Academy modes in the live game. So while right now the training mode is solo only, they are looking for ways to continue to create more shared experiences within the Academy modes in the live game. They chose for this to be a solo experience for a variety of reasons for the launch of the game. They wanted to account for players who are wary of playing with and against other people, and so they are able to focus on solo, offline experiences mainly as a priority, which I wonder if this is confirmation, because I know a lot of you have been asking about this, that you could play with bots offline in the game without being connected to the internet, which would be great news for a lot of you, because I have seen that question pop up quite a few times. 343 did say, though, in future updates they do intend to add or update experiences so that players will be able to welcome friends into certain Academy features. They also said that they wanted to add leaderboards to things like the weapon drills to add more light social gameplay by letting people compete for scores against friends and the greater community. They also acknowledged that training mode is another area where they will look to expand by adding co-op support in the future, as well as other new scrimmage type experiences that they want to develop. One last thing that they noted is that once the game is live and they see all the kinds of shenanigans that the community will come up with, they aim to add more training options to give players more tools to learn the more nuanced details of mastering Halo Infinite. Make sure you guys check out the XP progression system explanation, new battle pass details, new challenge system details, how we're going to be earning certain cosmetic items in game. That is all covered in that video. Will be out a little bit after this one, so make sure you guys are subscribed so you can go check that one out, because there's a lot of cool details in there. Hope to catch you guys on either a previous video of mine or a future video of mine, or maybe I'll see you on the battlefield during the flight. Make sure you guys stop by. I'll be streaming a lot on Twitch, and say hi. But it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. Until next time, guys, I am your boy Patman, and I am out.